Okay, good morning, guys. Good evening. Depends where are you now, and depends if you are looking this live stream in real time or in you're looking the recording. So welcome to my studio, and with this THU school, I would like to share with you some hints regarding. How to use THU to produce and to create high gain presets. I go to show my last presets. You can find on my store, of course, but you can create yourself. Based on the very famous tube amp, the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier or triple rectifier. It depends, but we are looking to the dual rectifier, I think. And okay, let's go immediately to see the presets. And okay, as usual, I love to create a big preset, as you can see here, because my concept is to put in a single preset all stuff I need to create the sound. And by the scenes, using the scenes, you can see here the scenes A, B, C, and D. You can decide which blocks, which effects goes on or off. Okay, so I can produce 4 different kind of sound, and also I can use my pedal board. Now I'm using a really cheap M-Wave chocolate Bluetooth pedal board. Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe it is a problem of focus. Okay, but you can recognize this model is really cheap, but you can use, of course, any kind of MIDI pedal board. I remember that you have to set up your MIDI here, okay, on the MIDI on the settings, and on audio settings you activate the MIDI inputs. So it is really important. Doesn't matter if it is wired foot control or Bluetooth or whatever. The system recognizes there is something MIDI connected, and you can enable by clicking on the red flag. Okay, then you can decide what you can do with the MIDI. In this case, I decided to set up my presets here on the MIDI, and there is a section where I can assign. I go fast, but okay, I can assign the MIDI on scene A, scene B, and scene C and D. And you can see it is a simple program change. It's 0, 1, 2, 3. If you don't assign this, you can also change the presets. Okay. Okay. The configuration of the MIDI is absolutely free, and you can decide yourself what you can do with the MIDI pedal. In this case, to me, it is enough to select 4 scenes A, B, C, and D, because, for example, on scene A, okay, I have the lead sound. On the scene B, it is a crunch, it's a rhythm part. On the C, okay, that means scene C. It is a clean, really clean. And on scene D, I use to recall the. Okay. I love this method because it is really similar to the real gear you have on the stage, except the fact that I'm using different amp block because any block represents one channel of the amp. For example, I can show you. I can zoom here. Okay, so you can see also the settings. The settings is not specific. I will show you the core part of this. The sound is not just the amp itself, but it is the cabinet, and also now I use also the equalizer. I will show later on. So I selected channel 1. This is the channel 1. It is the clean. Okay, as you can. So, because you have practically unlimited resources with the THU, you can put any kind of block on the desk, and you can decide to recall this and that. So now the scene C enable the first amp block. It is the clean channel. I can select, okay, I have the drive, the bass, middle, treble, presence, volume, and level, okay. Volume, it is the master of the amp. Level, it is the linear level of the block. There is also this clean and push option, but I love the clean. Because you can put different amp block. You can also put different clean amp together, okay. And you can get different clean, different EQ, different switch, and so on. It is incredible the possibility you can have with the THU. Then, for example, with scene B, okay, I switch off the clean channel and I switch on the channel 2. It is referred to the crunch. Let's say crunch. It is a crunch, but really high crunch. Let's say so. And I have also the possibility to go to the raw, vintage, and also modern. I love the vintage because so I can get 3 different sounds, and all at the end I can select the third amp block, who is the channel 3. It is the lead. And you can hear also in the background, I can also select different effects, and I will describe you. So this is one method, but I create because some people complains that this huge rack is not suitable with the iOS application, iOS THU application. So I also create different presets, smaller presets, only with the clean. For example, this is the clean. Okay, you have also the scenes, but only related to the clean sound. For example, you have this is the scene A. It is a simple clean. I add the compressor. I also the scene C add the chorus. Okay, and also I have the fourth scene with the tube 9 on. To get the light crunch sound. Of course, you can decide to store the preset with this scene, and when you switch on the preset, you can get immediately the scene you desired. For example, if you want to call this preset with the chorus like this, the because you can play funky or something else, you save the preset as it is. So when you select another preset and you come back here, you find the Synth C enabled. So it's pretty easy to work with the preset instead to work with the synths. It's absolutely up to you. And of course, you can copy this preset many times and have different possibility, different scenes, different option combining the preset and the scenes. Okay. In this case, the rig is much easier to read, much easier to use with the iOS application. Okay, and you can decide how to work with the THU. What is really important is THU is always seamless application. What does mean seamless? Seamless is even if you work with synths or with preset, there is always the spillover. So when you change between different presets, you can have the tails of the delay and also the reverb. And this is so you can use in the same way with synths and also with presets. Very nice. Okay, let's come. I wanted to show the first preset. It is an MF rectifier rig because it is the whole representation of the preset. Because I suggest you to think about in the same way of the, let's say, of the tradition with the analog system. So in the analog system, you put everything into your setup, and you can decide to switch on and off the sound. Okay, the only thing you have to take care it is the amp are now are shown with these 3 amps because you have not a single amp with the 3 channel, of course, but there is no problem from this. It is the same, for example, as you can see here, you can see 2 different Mod 3000 effect, and also 2 different tape delay, and 2 different reverb. To me, 2 different means two different presets. Okay, when you need different presets of the same effect, you can simply double and duplicate the effect. I have 2 reverbs, 2 delays, and 2 pitch detune because I use the Mod 3000 as a pitch detune. You need one more. You can copy and change the parameter, and by the scenes you can decide to switch on and off what do you need. For example, I can show you the clean sound. Use only everything is switched off. Only this reverb is enabled. It is a short reverb. I can switch off and switch on this reverb. For I have a longer reverb. And also I have, in the same way, I have the delay. This is the low level delay, this is the high level. You can see the value of the dry level. This is the delay is the same. The only difference it is the amount of the delay level. So I can switch on this delay. Or this one. In the same way, also the Mod 3000. It is a small amount effect or high amount. I love to put in the rig all different options, so simply switch on and off the effects is really easy to get the sound. Of course, in the same way, I created the crunch. The crunch, I enable the crunch amp, this one, and also the mod 3000 with the low level delay. Okay. The core of the sound, it is of course, the amp block and the cabinet. This is the main important. I've also created another rig. It is pretty similar except for the cabinet, because I want to give you the idea what does mean to use the matched cabinet like this, and this is the sound. Okay, this is the matched sound, and this is the sound I can get with this impulse response I create for this preset. I love to use the impulse response. In this case, it is an impulse response from my friends of valalIR.at. It is related to the diesel cabinet. It is a THU DZ cabinet. It is a 4x12 cabinet with a special microphone D202. I love this impulse response. It is part of my favorite, and I use this for this preset. But some of you says, but why I have to use external impulse response? Impulse response to me, it is the main part of the sound. You can see here, you don't find special settings for the amp, but I take care a lot to combine the amp with the proper impulse response. And you can hear the huge difference you have from the impulse response and from the matched cabinet. Okay, let's try. You can also work with both, and it is absolutely about your choice. What is the cabinet? Generally, I love this impulse response because I tested these impulse responses also on stage during my live gig, and to me is pretty clear what is the effect that I will have, especially during the gig on the huge stage with the huge PA system and so on. Okay. Okay, perfect. Then this is the I can switch off every effects. For example, for the crunch, this is the only reverb. Generally, I don't use the EQ, but in this case, I also use the very famous 7-band graphic EQ here to boost a bit. You can see the 400 hertz, a bit 800, and also 3.2 hertz. It is a slight difference, but I love this because there is more punchy sound. Okay, what is to me is really important, it is to find out the right combination between the amp, and as you can see here, the settings of the amp is not so dramatic. Okay, I zoom a lot because the knobs are small. Okay, as you can see, this is the crunch. I push the mid, the treble, but not so much. The main part, as I told you, it is the impulse response. I use the Super Cub with my customized impulse response. You will find this impulse response if you buy the preset, of course. Otherwise, you can use any kind of impulse response. And if you want, you can use also the match, the cabinet. It is the modern. It is the typical cabinet that you can get when you select the modern amp. Okay, as you can see, the settings of the amp is not so big, is not so extreme, is pretty standard, and the main difference is the cabinet, and also in this case also the EQ. I love these EQ settings for this preset. What, as usual, the most important thing is also to set up the input here. Okay, you have to be sure to tweak and to set up your audio interface. First of all, on the high impedance input, it is, guys, this is really important because if you use the wrong input of your audio interface, you cannot get the proper sound. On any audio interface, you have the high impedance input. Sometimes you have the guitar symbol printed out, and you have to use that. Otherwise, the sound is terrible, really terrible. Many people complain the quality of the sound, but they don't care about to use the high impedance input. Okay. Then when you select this, you have to be sure to set up the gain control in the way that the sound of your guitar reach the green part. You can also go to the red a bit, only flashing the red, not more, and it is a perfect zone. Okay. Otherwise, you have a really low distortion, and it is not natural sound because THU is the THU concept is based on these settings. So this is the reason that you can find the view meter to set up correctly your guitar. Okay, perfect. So I also put in this rig the compressor. I use the compressor with the clean sound. You have two different clean. For example, the dry one, really simple. The reverb, and with this scene I switch on the compressor to have more sustain and to compress the peak of the guitar, the peaks of the guitar. I also use double chorus, the CHR2 chorus, in combination with the Mod 3000. I love this combination to put the chorus before and after the cabinet, because this gives a very lush chorus effect. Super nice. And also, one very important thing, I love this tape delay because the sound of the delay is a bit darker than the original sound. Please look the settings. Oops, just a moment, I switch on the, okay. Look the settings. The time is absolutely up to you. You can use also the top tempo if you want. The spread, it is really important. The spread, it is a control that make a separation between the delay left and right. If you set up the spread, typically the default is 0, but 0 you have the mono delay. The delay is in the middle, exactly in mono. If you increase the spread, okay, you have the delay is not a ping pong. It is let's say a small delay between the left and right delay. For example, you can set 50 milliseconds. And this helps a lot to get the stereo sound, because the delay is not synchronized perfectly, the left and right, and create a big separation. And you can hear that At 0, you have the delay in the center. Just when I increase the spread, you can hear the delay left and right. Okay? If you have some question, you can put your question in the chat, or you can put the question below in the comment if you see the video at a different time. Okay, you can also, for example, on the lead, this is the lead, enable the Tube 9 to have more gain and more mid-range gain. If you want to have to give some modulation, you can also switch on this mod. Very nice. Okay, I'll take care a lot of the amp, as you I think you understand. To me, the most important part is it is the sound, the amp, the cabinet, but it take care a lot of the ambient effect, because the sounds I love from the 80, 90, and also the actual sound is made with huge reverbs, huge effects. I love, for example, the worship music, because you can find a lot of incredible ambient effects. So for this reason, you can also use a delay with a huge reverb. If you want to use a huge reverb, you can enable the second reverb. It is really... And also the modulation. The first one, the second one is too much. This is the reason I put the first one. It is better. Switch off the Tube 9. Okay, you can also try to set up different. If you wanted to have a more, I'd say more high frequency, you can also work with the EQ. I suggest you to put the EQ after the cabinet, because the impact is much more than before. The cabinet is a filter, is a really high impact filter on the sound. So I love to put the equalization after the cabinet. So I produce the sound with the amp, with the cabinet. Then I decide to, for example, increase the high frequency here. Can create the typical V EQ mode to make, for example, the heavy metal sounds. Okay, let me switch off the long delay. Okay, if I want to get a metal sound, I can. you can try what you want. For example, Super V. Or you can change the shape of the V. So the bass up to you, of course. The sounds change dramatically with this EQ. So I can reproduce the typical Petrucci V. Okay. Very nice if you put also on, sorry. Okay, if you switch off the modulation part, okay. Okay, if I switch off, also the level is increased, because when you enhance the frequency of course the level of the sounds, the level of the signals increases, so you have to compensate with the level here. Okay, so you can decrease. Okay, of course, as I told you before, you have different different preset. For example, the MF lead. This is the MF lead, is much simple, and also you have the lead plus. With the lead plus, you have also the modulation. You have different delays and so on. The difference is here is this. This is the simple, and this is the plus. You have 2 delays, you have 2 reverbs, and so on. The preset, it is the same, but I offer you different options, so you can decide, as I told you in the beginning, to work with the scenes or work with the preset. And of course, you can copy and paste the effects where you want. Okay, guys, I hope this tutorial is useful for you. If you have any question, you can put the question in the comment. If you want, you can, of course, buy my presets on my store, or you can create yourself. The advantage is you have include the input response by Valhalla IR. Otherwise, you can create yourself the preset using the standard cabinet here. Okay, it's absolutely up to you. Perfect. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much to THU Overloud, and see you next tutorial. Let me know what do you think about this tutorial, please. Thank you so much. Ciao.